Hello, welcome to the Healthy Alternatives podcast. I am Dr. Christine Sauer with DocChristine.com. Today's show is a recording of my radio show of the same name. Enjoy! Good afternoon, this is Dr. Christine Sauer, your host of the show Healthy Alternatives here at 97.5 CIOE FM with live stream on communityradio.ca every Thursday at 12 noon Atlantic Standard Time. Thanks for tuning in today. In this show, I will talk mostly with guests about all aspects of health, healthcare and wellness, from conventional to alternative and everything in between. My mission for this radio show is to help change people's lives for the better by informing them about different options to get and stay healthy and well, so they can choose for themselves which option might work in their case. And if you feel you are stuck in a dark place, I want to tell you, don't give up. There is a light at the end of the tunnel for you too. Today I'm extremely pleased to be with Felicia Reid. Hi, Felicia. Hello?
Hi, Dr. Christine.
Hi, Felicia.
Hi, how are you?
Thanks, good. Felicia is a certified life, spiritual, and Christian coach. Her business is Put It in Perspective. Now, Felicia, tell me a little bit about yourself, how you ended up doing what you're doing now and what you're actually doing.
Yes, thank you, and I'm so happy to be here. So I am a certified life, spiritual, and Christian coach and a holistic wellness advocate. I am a domestic violence advocate, an energy healer. I'm a certified level 5 energy healer. I'm a fiber artist. Did I say speaker?
No, not yet.
I'm a mom to a college kid, and I'm also a quality manager for a government contractor. So my life is very, very diversified, and I love it.
That's amazing. How did you get into that all? Did you have an abusive relationship yourself?
Yes. So I am a survivor of abuse. I have been abused, or I was abused from the age of 5 to 51. I am 50, and throughout my life of abuse and just living in general, I have been through probably some of the most horrific abuse that most people have heard of. And I always, started my healing process with the intent that I wanted to remain alive.
Yeah.
And, so I have great experience in the realm of abuse. Fortunately or unfortunately, I think it's fortunate so that I can help others. I really do try to find the positive.
Yeah, I like that attitude because you broke up there in between, but you said from the age of 5 to 50-some, you were a victim of abuse. And that's quite a long time to experience that. And how did you get out of it?
Each event, each segment is different. And it required different approaches. As a child of 5 years old, being abused by a babysitter's son, I really don't have too much choice in that matter.
No.
Because that was my care provider, and I was following my parents' instructions to stay with these people. Okay, but as we get older, we have choices. So I have been through every form of abuse there is, physical, spiritual, emotional, mental, financially, and even cyber abuse, which is something new. It's not new, but it's just being exposed. So each event has required me to do something different. And how I believe that I stopped the attraction of the abuse was to start focusing on me and healing myself on a very deep level, and not trying to fix broken people who don't want to be fixed, who just want to continue to walk over you so they can have a better life. So I started to work on what is the attraction in me that I'm in this constant cycle, of abuse. And I discovered that there was some work that I needed to do, and that I'm not here to save the world unless you want to be saved. I'm not here to fix broken men. I'm not here to control anyone. I am simply here to participate in the events that are beyond all of our control and to do the best that I can. So once I removed myself from the energy, which was from a toxic childhood environment, and said, I'm going to go work on me, especially at 51 when the worst happened because it was done by my immediate family. I'm like, that's it. I can't take any more. I'm not going to take any more. And I choose to go heal my life versus being a pawn in someone's game of abuse. So
I like that. I like that you called it game, because there's a nice book, you probably know it, Games of Adults, or Games that Adults Play.
Yes.
And it's just amazing how you repeat cycles from childhood until you do like what you did, make a choice. And work on yourself and put it in perspective.
Yes, absolutely. So my agreement with the higher power, however you know it as, and my belief is in God, but however you know it as, was to, if I am saved from all of this trauma and abuse, I am committed to helping as many people, especially females, as I can. Just let me live. Just let me survive it. Because there were at least 2 of the events where I definitely should not have survived, but I did.
So you were physically attacked and ended up in the hospital, or how did that go?
Yes. Well, the first one that was really life changing was that I was brutally beaten.
Oh my God!
And it resulted in my face being broken and prostheses being made to hold up my right eye because that part of my face had been shattered through a fist, and it's a highly unusual injury. So I was able to escape from that moment, and of course there's underlying things that go with that type of injury. There's internal bleeding, there's a possible loss of sight, and there's the shock of it. And I actually drove myself away in a very traumatic state, not being able to see, to get away out of that situation at the moment. And the injury was so bad that the surgery could not be performed right away. And that the trauma to the area was just too risky to address right at the onset of the injury. So I had to actually wait 2 weeks for some of the bleeding and bruising to subside and for a sign. And the sign was that the bone was not going to heal itself. My eye dropped, and I was rushed into a surgery a day or 2 later, where I received a repair. And this was almost between 28 and 30 years ago. And back then, they didn't make orbital floor prostheses. So my surgeon actually had to make an orbital cup for my eye to sit in, because the trauma to the area was so bad.
Yeah.
And he flew in. I had 2 doctors, very world-renowned doctors. He flew in his partner from Buenos Aires to help him perform this very unique surgery. And I came out of it, okay, and alive. And out of that situation, I was able to get out of.
So you were able to get out of that relationship. Your partner at that time, did he go to jail for that?
He was not placed in jail. There's a long story behind that, and there are a lot of details. And I actually did not leave the relationship right away.
I see.
I had to come up with what is known as an exit plan.
Yeah.
Because if I had walked away immediately, he probably would have killed me.
I hear you.
So,
that is a scary situation that you were in there.
Yes, it takes time to work out of those delicate situations in life, and there's a lot of factors involved that people may not be apparent on the outside, but those that are in the relationship fully understand that in order to get away comfortably, this is the space that I'm going to need to be in. So therefore, I have to come up with a plan to exit the relationship, and that's what I did. And eventually, I was able to walk away from that relationship and restart my life. And he is not living today. I'm not sure what happened in his life because I totally separated and we were not married. So of course I would not follow any developments, but he is not alive today, and he had passed away almost 20 years ago now.
Which probably was relieving for you because you had to be still concerned that he would come after you.
Yes, it was very, very peaceful in that, I just pray and wish him well and that he has, eternal peace and, no celebration. It's nothing to play with. Some people, they find that their abusers have, encountered some negative aspect of their life, and they get in these celebrations, and it's nothing that type of energy is nothing to play with because it becomes a projection and a reflection. And we just want to wish everyone well, no matter what they have done to us. So that was the first ordeal.
I really like that perspective. Let's just be a little bit on it because we have about a minute or two in the first half. Tell me how that changed your perspective.
Well, that changed my perspective because I have always been under the mindset that I don't want to be like what happened to me. Mm-hmm. So if I am keeping the hate and the anger and the depression or whatever these people that abuse are feeling, if I'm keeping that going and I'm making fun of it or amplifying it, then it's going to return to me, and there's an attraction, and I would be no different than they are. So I never wanted to be like the people who went against me were. I wanted to be just love and light, no matter what you do to me, love and light. Wow. And once I remove myself, because I don't want to receive it back. I don't want to put something out there that I don't want to receive back. And that's
I think that is really a very important thing to learn when somebody did something bad to you, that you don't harvest that hate. That's what many call forgiveness, or change your perspective on it and become who you want to be. And that's a good thought to bring us to the end of the first half of today's broadcast here on 97.5 CIOE FM Community Radio. Please tune in after the commercial break for more about trauma and how to heal it with certified life, spiritual and Christian coach Felicia Reid. Thank you. Hello and welcome back to Healthy Alternatives here on 97.5 CIOE FM or on the web at communityradio.ca. I'm your host, Dr. Christine Sauer, and today I'm talking with Felicia Reid, a certified life, spiritual and Christian coach, who in the first half was talking about her surviving a severe case of physical abuse. Now you mentioned in the first half, Felicia, that there were two instances that were really severe. What's the other one?
Yes, thank you, Dr. Christine. So the first instance in my life from 5 to 51 of abuse was the physical abuse where I was beaten, and that wasn't the first time. So that behavior had been exhibited. And then as I go through life, at 51, I went through what is known as psychopathic abuse And it involved gaslighting. It involved a home invasion and cyber gang stalking, which is fairly, not many people are familiar with this, but this is a new form of abuse that is being exposed because abusers have gotten smart in that they don't have to touch you. The intricate detail of this abuse is that it involves my immediate family.
Wow.
As a way to teach me a lesson. My home was violated in a destructive manner, which involved sex by other parties outside of my home coming in, violating my home, and planting devices and being in my personal effects and a total, I like to say, a rape of my home. And of course, people are passionate about their sacred spaces, so that was to hurt me.
Yes, so they put basically a camera in your bedroom without you knowing.
Exactly. Not only were there cameras in my bedroom, there were cameras planted in my car and around my property, so that I was watched, constantly watched. And my computers were infected with stalking malware and key logging software. And it involved two neighbors and my immediate family and an ex-partner who my family opened up my home and allowed him to come back in after a year and a half of being away from this person, so that he could entertain himself with a female neighbor. So here I am, and there's a lot of details around that, but we only
So you were trying to make it work, and he abused basically your home right away.
Yes, right away. I was trying to make the separation work, and my family said, nope, here you go, here's more abuse, take that. And the stalking was in gang form.
Oh, wow.
And the emotional wear and tear on that, because it impacts the brain and the organs and, different forms of the body, was probably more difficult to survive than the physical abuse that I had encountered earlier in my life.
Constant emotional stress you were under.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And I will admit that I went into a brain fog, because my brain had to protect itself from the gaslighting that was being done to me on a daily basis, where my family would show up to my home and pound the details in of the abuse to weaken me and to impact my son, and of course to spread more negativity in our home after doing what they did. And that part of the abuse over my life, that event right there, it almost took me out of here. I mean, it almost took me out of here. I went someplace very spiritual and very special, and I just got with God in a way that some people understand and some people don't. But I went to a higher vibration, a higher level in order to save myself, and it was very, very, very spiritual. So, and of course, when there's family involved, it hurts you a little bit more, because I had this, this family for 50 some years, and then they wind up being the worst abusers, and they are my family by birth. I'm not adopted. I'm not just taken in. This is my DNA that's really attacking me.
Oh yeah, that happens. Now, tell our listeners, how did you get out of it, and what are you doing with all your experiences now?
Goodness. Dr. Christine, to get away from your family, it sounds so simple, and most people just are probably thinking, the listeners are probably thinking, like, just get away from them. But it's a lot more complicated than you think. And because it was in the neighborhood, I basically had to change not only my life, because I was very active, around my home and the community and other places connected, I basically had to change my life, and I had to change my son's life. And in changing our lives, I also had to make sure that we were safe and protected because, like I said, the home invasion to hurt us, in an abusive way was done by two neighbors.
So you had to move away from the neighborhood?
No, I did not move.
How did you do that?
I did not move. I did not move. That is so beautiful. That is the power of God. I am still in the home that was violated, and I live 2 doors from the neighbor that did what they did.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
Yes.
It's amazing. And how I did it was through, I did check in with my psychologist. And every time I check, she's so beautiful. I check in with her, and she's like, "You're fine in life. Everything that you've been through, you got this. You got this. How about you get the people that did this to you to come in? Those are the ones we need to see. Get out of here and go be the awesome coach and speaker and advocate and whatever else I am.
Nice
go
to hear.
be that."
Yeah.
I also adopted spiritual healing and to work on the energy, not just in me, but around our home, because I am a firm believer that everything is energy. So as I go through this process, my gifts start to be revealed, and lots of prayer and lots of rewiring my brain through thought and visualization and exposure, even with lighting and news and anything that could impact, my way of thinking or my brain, I had to change. And I became this walking survivalist. I don't know if you've seen the movie The Book of Eli with Denzel Washington, but it comes to mind right now in that I just became so determined to live and to rewire from all of the abuse that became how I survived. And
you did, and that is a wonderful story. And now you use all your experiences to help others.
Absolutely. So, like I said, today I am a certified life, spiritual, and Christian coach, a certified level 5 energy healer, holistic wellness advocate. I advocate for other women, and I work with them to teach them to don't succumb to the trauma. Use the energy to heal from it. We know it never goes away, but I teach tools and techniques and working with energy and natural modalities such as oils and other natural items. And I really ask people to go deep inside of themselves to find out what it is they already have in them that is going to help them to heal from yucky life ordeals.
So do you give support when somebody contacts you that is still in an abusive relationship? Can you give them practical advice? Here's where you get your exit plan going and stuff.
Yes, yes. But, I always tell everyone to keep a journal.
Yes.
But
some people are afraid to keep a journal because the abuser will read it.
Yes, that's okay. Don't have that fear. And if they do read it and they find it and destroy it, just keep journaling. Of course, what we put in it is, if it's just loving on ourselves type stuff, they may or may not be okay with that. And that's fine. No matter what they do, keep doing what we're supposed to do. Journal, change the thoughts, realize that it's not the victim that has the problem, and to come up with an exit plan.
It's not the victim, it is the abuser. And that's a good thought. You don't have to be the victim for the rest of your life. And now we have to wrap up slowly. So if some of the listeners say, oh my God, I'm in a situation and I'm not happy in it, I think I'm being abused, how can they contact you?
Absolutely. So my entity is Put It in Perspective. You can find me on Facebook. You can reach me at www.putitinperspective.net. I also have a Females Without Fear mastermind group where I work directly with females in those types of situations to constantly empower them and give them knowledge and information. And that is femaleswithoutfear.com. I am also on LinkedIn. I have Twitter. I have Instagram.
Wow, you're a busy lady.
Yes.
Now, thank you so much for sharing that and being on the show today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Felicia. This brings me to the end of today's show.
Yes.
But please don't hesitate to contact me with any questions, thoughts, comments, or suggestions. Or if you'd like to contact Felicia and forgot her email or address, my email here is christine@communityradio.ca, or you can contact me through my website, drchristine.com, and Google www.putitinperspective.net, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Wonderful. And we are always grateful for any feedback. I also wanted to extend a special thank you to today's producer, Jim Francis. You might not know this, but this is a volunteer-run non-profit radio station. Thank you all for listening to Healthy Alternatives. I'm your host, Dr. Christine Sauer. Tune in next Thursday at noon on 97.5 CIOE FM Community Radio with live stream on communityradio.ca for the next episode. Goodbye and have a great day.